be really intelligent and direct, and I thought, you know, that's the sort of person I want to be in business. So actually she was quite a big inspiration.
Well, thanks so much for being a part of this project, Lisa. I mean, we've had some great female leaders being signed up, so thank you so much. And the reason why I want to do it is just because I've been in a career for 23 years myself, and I've just managed to meet and be inspired by some amazing women along the way who've really made an impact on my journey and helped me evolve into where I am. So, and also having a daughter myself who's 14, I feel like it's really important to show them that success is achievable. Diversity in business now is essential, and we're all learning along the way. We're all human, and we're all like kind of helping each other. So yeah, this is why I want to do. So thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, do you want to introduce yourself, Lisa?
Yeah, so I'm Lisa Bridgwood. I'm General Counsel at Knights, and I've been in this role for 13 years. I actually was a corporate partner first, and it evolved into the General Counsel role here. But before that, I also was General Counsel of a fashion house in London, and also worked in Manchester as a corporate partner. Oh, wow. So yeah, it's been an interesting career journey so far.
Absolutely brilliant. And you've been actually here since Knights opened 10 years. Is it 10 years or is it longer than that now?
So I've been here for 13 years.
13 years, yeah.
We actually opened the Knights has been around since 1759, but David Beach only joined here in 2012. And I was David's first recruit.
Oh, wow.
And it was kind of his vision that's taken us to move away from traditional partnerships, become an ABS, eventually become listed. And when I first started, we were 150 people, 2 offices, and now we are 1,500 people, 26 offices, and it's been an incredible journey, really. So, yeah, it's been really exciting. It's felt like we've been working in lots of different places in that 13-year journey, but really interesting.
Yeah, and there's this, obviously you've just gone through a revamp of the office, which is absolutely amazing, by the way. It's like one of the best I've ever seen, so lovely to be like work here, I suppose, for you, and be a part of it. So has it always been in this office when you first started, or is it?
So when I first started, we were here. Given it's been around for so long, we used to be in Newcastle-under-Lyme in town. Yes, so it's always been here, but it needed a refurbishment compared to some of our other offices. And I think what it's done now is create a really good space for people to collaborate in, for people to want to come and work together, and just to be really refreshing, particularly after everything we went through with COVID, with everybody not working together and being together. It's been really nice to get everybody in the office together and to give them this amazing space to thrive in.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And it has got a real homely feel about it.
Yeah,
and it's been nice to walk in to see people dotted around working from laptops, etc.
Yeah.
Not just in a room, but in open space as well, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, I think so, because I think you get the most out of your work if you share your experiences with other people, a bit like what you just said. And we can, if I'm just passing somebody, I can say, did you think about that? Or, I've just seen this person, you might of interest to you. And that's always really useful. You don't get that from not being in the office.
Absolutely.
So, so it's great to have those little spaces that you can collaborate, meet each other, chat, but also obviously get your work done.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's your feedback been from customers as well? I bet they've had the wow factor.
They have had the wow factor, yes. They've really been loved coming here. Actually, they found it really impressive, and I think a real testament to the area, because I think it shows that we're invested in this area. We want to bring lots of people into this area, and to do the best for clients and the community. So actually, they acknowledge that it is about our staff, but it is also about them and making sure that they've got a great environment, because they can share this space with us. So
definitely,
yeah, it's been really good.
Definitely.
Really
and
good.
I do think that because obviously when they've seen it on social media or from word of mouth, people are thinking, I do want to be a part of this, and how do I so it's definitely attracting business as well.
Recruits, and we're a very acquisitive firm. We've done 26 acquisitions, and I've done all of those, which has been really exciting. But for newly acquired firms or for recruits coming in, they do come and think, I've really joined something that's really growing, I can be really part of something. So yeah, it's been great for that, and hopefully will continue to be great for that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. Oh, well, thank you for that. So I'm going to just go ask you a few questions, and just answer freely. How you be interesting to find out how you've come on your journey as well. So looking back, did your career unfold as planned, or has it evolved more organically into your current role?
So I must be quite unusual because I actually always wanted to be a lawyer, which is really crazy. But since I was about maybe 10, I've wanted to be. I grew up, I'm going to share my age, with LA Law and Ally McBeal, and I wanted to be a lawyer through all that time. But what I didn't know was what type of lawyer I wanted to be. So I had this idea I was going to be fighting for like a criminal lawyer, fighting for justice. But actually, that isn't for me. I really, really love helping people and solving problems, but I like doing that in a corporate setting. So I knew I wanted to be a corporate lawyer. But then I've just taken opportunities, really, as they've arisen. So I took a 3-month secondment to help a business out while somebody else was on maternity leave. That turned into a 3-year role in a general counsel position. And then when I came here, came to be a corporate lawyer, and I was working closely with David, and actually I said, I know that I can do this general counsel role, and I've created that role. There wasn't one before. So actually That's been a really great, interesting experience, because I didn't know what it's going to be like before, but actually I really love it now. So it's great.
And it's great to have that person as David to give you the opportunity to do that as well.
Yeah, he's
amazing.
A really good and quite an inspiring leader, actually.
Brilliant. And how many staff have you got now?
So in my team, there's quite a few, because I do cover a few areas. So I cover compliance and legal and claims. So I'm going to say, but we do stop and change a bit, so I'm going to say 20.
Brilliant. Yeah, just be on the safe side.
Absolutely, yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, that's fabulous. Absolutely brilliant. And which female leaders have inspired you, and how did they shape your goals, if any?
So I was lucky enough to work with somebody called Meg Lusterman in my role when I was in-house at a fashion brand. She has been part of the board of several retailers. So she was the CEO of Hobbs. When I was working with her, she's been managing director of Caramel Warehouse. She's been part of Oasis. She's really got great experience in John Lewis. And actually, working with Meg was really an inspiring moment for me, because we worked together in really good times when we were acquiring big businesses, growing the brand, but also in times when we had to go into administration, make some really tough decisions. And seeing her behave throughout that period was really inspiring, because no matter what, she'd always got time for me or other people in the business to bring them on, help encourage them. She was often making connections with other people to support you through your career journey. She's never really she never really had an ego, so she was always able to ask questions and not look stupid asking questions, but also be really intelligent and direct. And I thought, that's the sort of person I want to be in business. So actually she was quite a big inspiration through my time as a lawyer. And then I've worked with several female lawyers who've had children before I had my own son, because I've got a 10-year-old. And at first I did actually think it wasn't possible, but seeing those manage the juggle really helped me think, actually, no, this is a career I can have, regardless if I'm going to be a mother, and I wanted to be a mother, and I can make it work, and I have. So I think, actually, there's been a few people, I won't name them all, but there's been a few people in those roles that have really inspired me throughout my career.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that, like, Meg treated everyone as kind of an equal.
Absolutely,
and,
yeah.
I do think you do need that person, don't you? And no question is a silly question. That's the kind of what you need to remember.
Particularly in the legal profession, because I think sometimes everybody feels like they've got to be the expert in the room about every single subject matter. But I think she gave me the courage to say, actually, I don't know the answer to that right now, but I'll come back to you and I'll give you the answer straight away and that'll be 100%. Right. Rather than fob somebody off with something that's a load of nonsense just because you need to give them an answer in the room.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was really good advice, really.
Absolutely. And go away and find out. And it's probably, when you go away and find out the answer, it will stick in your head more so than ever.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Brilliant. And what drives you each day? How do you stay motivated?
So I do really like solving problems, as I mentioned, and I think because we've done so many acquisitions and things have changed so much in the last 13 years, that actually there are always changes to consider, I like working with people and help collaborating with them to support people in that problem solving. And we've always got, something new that we haven't necessarily done before. So I'm not sat here thinking I've done everything. And that's quite a good position to be in. You want to be in a position where you're still challenged and you still come up against new things that might be of interest that you've never actually done before. So I think that probably motivates me.
Yeah.
And I like completing projects. So actually when to have that feeling when you've done a great deal for a client and they're really happy, or to have concluded an acquisition, or to have finished off a really great project with compliance that's going to make the business more efficient. I like that feeling. So actually that's what motivates me here. But really, personally, my family, I really want to be the best I can be for them too. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, brilliant. And have you ever faced moments of self-doubt or this imposter syndrome that we talk about? And how did you regain your confidence if you did?
I would say I have had moments of self-doubt. I know that I have in my head done a lot of talking myself into things or thinking things that aren't necessarily true. I've created things that aren't real over the years. And actually, it happened the most when I was on maternity leave, because I'd never had an extended period of time off, had 9 months off. And a colleague, before I went to maternity leave, said, you'll forget everything. You won't be considered as good at your job and you're going to have to work to get where you are again.
Oh, wow.
And that was really quite worrying. So actually whilst I was on maternity leave, my boss actually contacted me for lunch, and I'd done all this in my head about how it was going to be really difficult and how I wouldn't get the credit for all the things I'd done before my maternity leave. And I'd built myself up into this big speech that I was going to say to him about how I was still going to be a great lawyer and I was still going to manage it. And he made me partner. So whilst I was on maternity leave.
That's
so actually,
amazing.
It was a massive confidence boost that actually what that person had said was absolute rubbish.
Yeah.
People knew what I was about still. It was all in my own head from a stupid comment like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when I came back, I was thrown into some really quite complex work straight away. But that was good, actually, because it made me think, no, I can do this. I'm really good at this, my job. I know what I'm doing. And just because I've had a baby doesn't change that. It just means that I've got to dedicate a bit of time to somebody else.
Absolutely.
So, I would say I have had it, but that was the worst part of it in my career.
Terrible. And did that kind of ruin your time off, do you think, a little bit?
It probably shortened the time off that I had, because I probably looking back, would probably have wanted to have 12 months, but I came back earlier because I thought, I have to get into the zone again in terms of my career, because I don't want that to be an issue. But having said that, having been promoted whilst I was on maternity leave really actually improved things quite a lot, so that was good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I suppose your experience, if any of your team was to go off on maternity or face the same, I'm sure you would put them at ease. And,
absolutely.
I know that people now do like check-in days or
like
kind
kit days,
which I think is really important, because your kind of brain does go to like mash when you've got to get
mode, aren't you?
Absolutely, baby brain. And I think everything is kind of, you feel quite lonely sometimes on maternity, don't you?
I think so. It's quite daunting because you think everybody else is progressing, you're doing something entirely different, and you have to be focused on that because you've got someone's life depending on you. And then you have to just completely change your mentality back into work. So it is very daunting. I had a former boss at a former who actually treated maternity as an illness, so I actually was really it's such a challenging time. Now anybody that I know that goes on maternity leave, I'm super supportive, because what an exciting time in their life it is.
100%.
It doesn't mean it affects your career in any way whatsoever. You can be just as good when you come back as you were before, if not better.
Absolutely.
You've just got to think you're just doing something else in your life that's also important.
Absolutely. And it all comes down to like diversity in business as well. I think it's really essential that we treat everyone the same. And like you said, that is such a special moment.
Absolutely.
That people shouldn't feel like they can't have a baby or can't go on maternity, as well as men. Men have paternity as well. So
definitely.
I think it's really important, and hopefully
I think things are changing, aren't they, now? I would hope so anyway. I mean, Joe is 10, but I would hope that nobody has those sorts of experiences, or they're fewer and far between.
Absolutely. And I feel like we're very open now, and we can just speak up if needed. So, definitely. And have you always felt supported by those around you, such as your friends, family and colleagues?
Definitely. I'm really lucky that my husband has been really supportive, and we've been together a long time, but it is a real teamwork effort because, you know, you are going to have times where you've got deadlines, particularly being in corporate law. You have to work late at times, sometimes you have to work weekends, that is part of the job, but you have to be able to balance and juggle those things. Definitely. So being a team is what's really important. And I'm really lucky as well to have a really good support network of friends. So I know actually, I'm at a meeting, I'm running late, but I can contact another mum and say, can you pick Jo up? I'll come to yours after. Brilliant. So actually, I have been really lucky in that respect. I've never, you know, and that's been a really important factor of me getting to where I am, because if I hadn't had that support network, it would be impossible to do. It would be impossible.
No, it's juggling everything, isn't it?
It is. There's a lot of things, competing demands in your day, aren't there? And sometimes it's hard to know which one you're going to be able to achieve. But I think as long as you prioritise and you work together, you can do it.
100%. That's exactly right. And having family and friends and being a leader, how do you kind of balance your personal life and your professional life? Because
it can be tricky, that kind. Yeah, it can be tricky. I think it can be tricky. I think it's got a bit easier as my little boy's got older. It was much harder to do when he was a baby. I am. Well, yeah, you know me, so I'm actually able to balance my personal life as well. I do.
That is very important, isn't it?
I do enjoy a night out. But I actually think that you have to have that kind of release. I think you do need to have, you can't be a work robot all the time. You have to be able to go out, enjoy yourself, but also work hard. So you have to go and have downtime. Yeah. Because if you don't have, holidays are really important to me. I always schedule in my holidays. Because I know that if I'm going to work hard and get, you know, during the week and get the things that I've got to do done, I need that time to actually rejuvenate myself. Yeah. And when I come back from a holiday, I always feel really refreshed and ready to go again and really driven. So actually having the holidays is really important too.
Absolutely. You just need that switch off time, don't you? Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that is important. But yeah, like you say, going out with family or friends is really important. I know that's something I look forward to as well. And sometimes it kind of is something to look forward to during the week, isn't it, when you have got all these high pressure demands?
Yeah, it is. And it just lets you be you without having to think about all the other things that you have to think about the whole rest of the week. Yes. So it's quite nice to just be able to just be yourself and just switch off.
Yeah, definitely. And how do you manage stress and avoid burnout while maintaining resilience in the career? Because I bet you have moments where you can get quite stress. Stress, I don't know whether that's like the right word to say, because there's all different sides, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. I think actually over the years, I have had to learn how to do that over the years. It isn't something that you're ever taught really at university. And as I say, we often have jobs where you do have to work unsociable hours. They're not all the time, but you know that they're coming, or you have got deadlines that you need to meet. And I think the way that I do it is I am a real list maker and prioritise. So actually being organised, being able to prioritise the things that I need to do, and know actually that I can rely on my colleagues for some things as long as I give them enough time to do that particular task or support with something. I think earlier on in my career, I thought that I had to do everything myself to be successful, and I thought that I had to meet every deadline, do every job, and you know, smash it out, which is good, but actually that's the easiest way to burn out. And actually knowing that, no, I can do so much, so I'm going to make sure I work with other people on these other things. I can't do everything. It's been really important. And then I think having that team around me has been really important to help me manage my own stress and pressures of work and life. It's something though that you constantly have to think about.
Definitely.
And I think not having that negative self-talk as well. Yes. Because that has been something over the years that I have had, and I have to constantly remind myself not to do it, because you just got to forgive yourself. You're not going to get everything that you want to do done in the time that you want to do it,
But
just be easy on yourself.
Definitely.
I think. So those are the things I think.
100%. And someone told me, to write down, like, when you're feeling on a high, you're smashing business, write it down.
All the successes.
Absolutely. Reflect on it when sometimes you don't feel like that, because we do put ourselves down, and we shouldn't do, because we are amazing at what we do. I think we all are. So absolutely. And like you say, delegate is important. I mean, them people who you do delegate to, they will probably like that as well, because they can prove that
and
they
it
can
helps
do
them
it.
in their career as well, because
100%.
I think you're giving people opportunities at the same time. You haven't got to take on everything, but just do the things that you were going to do really well.
Definitely.
So I think that's been a lesson that's been learned over my career. But so when I was out, I was just super eager, ready to do every job that was available at the outset.
100%.
But I know now that having a team is important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I am also a list maker. Like, I make lists for lists, basically.
And calendar appointments as well, schedules.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've got the paper-based calendars on the kitchen, which is for the family. And then me and Rob have got, like, a shared calendar on our iPhones.
Yeah.
And we have to, like, fight to get our appointments in first.
Yeah, we do the same.
And
I might sneak one in and say, oh, that was always there.
Always
I know what
there.
you have.
Yeah. Same. And I bet you've got a list for holiday when you go.
I have, yeah.
100%. Love it. And what are the most important lessons that you've learned throughout your career, would you say?
I would say, so I don't actually know where I heard this. I think it has come from a celebrity, but it's like, in life, you win or you learn. So you never actually fail. You've never actually done something really bad. You've practiced. Next time you'll do better, as long as you learn from it. And I think that's one of the most important things that I've learned. I think one of the other things that someone told me very early in my career was, if it is to be, it's up to me. And I always think that mantra in my head, that I'm going to create my own opportunities, and I'm 100%. Going to make sure that what I want happens for me. I'm not going to rely on somebody else making it happen for me. So those are the two things I would say that I've kind of stood by throughout my whole career.
And I think they're so true. They're so true. Especially like the learning. We've had this actually with other ladies I've interviewed, to say you've got to learn things. Like, you've got to go away and teach it yourself to be able to progress. And that's so important, isn't it? Yeah,
you're not always going to get somebody who sits with you and guides you through every bit of your career. You have to be motivated to want to know the answer 100%. Or to want the next opportunity or to try something new.
Yeah, definitely.
Those things I think are quite important.
Definitely. And going out and getting what you want is, like you said as well, like I was part-time for a bit, for 12 years actually, when I had the 3 children, and I just hit 40 and I was like, I need to get my career back on track, and I want to, so I kind of opened up the opportunity myself. I could have just sat there and just carried on, but you've got to just do it for yourself, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know what you can do.
You know what you want.
Yeah.
So no one else is going to do it for you, but you've obviously done a fantastic job.
Thanks,
so
thank you. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, this is it. We're strong women. We can
absolutely.
And how would you define success, both personally and professionally?
Professionally, I feel successful if I've had a new challenge and we've hit that target or done that budget or completed that project, and I've learned something new from it. Or I actually also feel successful if my team do well. Yeah. Because I feel like actually, having had people who've supported me in my career, I want to see them progress in their career.
Definitely.
Personally, I just want to have a happy home. So every time I see my son do something really well, or we're really lucky. I've got a really lovely family, and so personally, just carrying on and seeing my little boy grow into a happy little boy, and for us to be a happy family is all I want, really.
Yeah, absolutely, perfect. And and again, a few people have said about the team, because you are the leader of that team, and I think that is so important. Like, you're making that team, so when they do well, that's down to you as well. So I think that is.
Yeah, I guess it is. I think it's just nice to see people elevate themselves a little bit, isn't it? I think it's like to see people that you've had an impact on somebody, so that they feel inspired and they can have their next step. I think, especially for some of the younger people, it's good to see them having some opportunities for them to grow.
Yeah, definitely, and see them develop.
Absolutely, yeah.
100%. And what would you say is next for you?
Well, with this business, who knows? So
I'm sure you'll be growing even more than 26. You say?
We're 26 at the moment. Yeah. So we do plan to double in size here in the short to medium term.
Yeah.
So I think there'll be a lot of interesting opportunities coming my way, which I will gladly grasp, because it's great to bring on people and for them to. They might have had different cultures, but actually to see them integrate and to see how cultures evolve, that's really exciting. Definitely. So actually seeing this business grow will be a great experience over the next 3 to 5 years, as it has been in the last 13 years. But yeah, I kind of do. I don't try and plan that far in advance, because things have happened. So I've just seen something and thought, I'm going to do that. Yeah. So that's kind of how my career's evolved, and I'm going to carry on with that approach, because it's worked well so far.
Absolutely, it certainly has. You don't know what's around the corner, do you?
Absolutely,
so, 100%. Brilliant. And then the last question I've put this in, it's just a funny question, but basically my 14-year-old daughter, Poppy, was sitting here. She's just about to choose her options and go into kind of the next step for her exams. What bit of advice would you give to her? I think at that age, it's really hard to make a decision for the rest of your life. I know I was a bit weird. Yeah, you're the first one.
I am unusual.
Got into what you wanted to do.
But I think it's really hard to make that decision. So I would say do something that you really enjoy. Yeah. And then actually, if you've tried that and you don't enjoy it, that's okay, because you can do something else that you enjoy. Definitely. And it's never too late to do something new. Yeah. So actually don't think you're going to be, I've done this in my options and now I have to do this because I have to become this. I think just finding yourself and who you want to be is really important. And you should just keep trying new things until you find that perfect thing for you. Yeah, that's absolutely. What I would say. That's the advice I'm going to tell my son as well. That's it. Or I might even get her to watch some Ally McBeal. I remember watching them as well, thinking she was ace. So yeah. Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you so much. That's it. Oh, no problem. That's great. Okay, that was quite easy. Thank you. Yeah, it